So you missed the Aurora Borealis in the lower United States. So did I. So did I. But don't worry if you live in other parts of the world as well, because some of the tips that I'll talk about in this video may help you on your quest to find them again. And before you click away, be sure to stick around to the very last point because it's the most important point. And as always, hit that like and subscribe for the YouTube algo. Now, can you believe that these photos are taken just about an hour west of Denver, Colorado? In Colorado, these photos are 100% real. No manipulation, no replacement of elements, just color correction and adjustment to brightness. But wait, Anna, didn't you say that you missed the Aurora Borealis? I did, back in March, and I was determined to move mountains if they ever came back. In order to capture the lights, we first need to have a very basic understanding of something called the KP and G Indices. And what are those, you ask? Well, I'm not here to give you a science lesson because I just know that the internet is going to roast me on how inaccurate I am. But what I am going to do is leave some links below for you to enjoy some light reading at your own time. What you do need to know is what KP index and what G index the aurora would be visible in your area. For example, for me, I live just west of Denver. That KP index would be a 7 or 8 and the G would be G4. How do I know this? The last storm in March was KP 7 and 8 and a G4, and it was seen as far south as Arkansas and New Mexico. Now, anything less than that, like a KP5 and G3, might be visible in this area. I don't know. That is just something that you would have to try if you lived in the same latitude as I live. Great. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the next point, phone tech. On Sunday morning, I received a notification on my cell phone from the Space Weather Live app saying that conditions had reached KP5. Instantly, my curiosity was piqued, so I headed off to Twitter to check in on some of my favorite and trusty accounts, which you should follow, wink wink. Number 1 is the NOAA Space Weather account. They will give me the forecasted 3-hour KP index, so it gives me an idea for what's happening in a 3-hour time frame. Sometimes though, if the skies are really active, they'll say a little bit more. Number 2 is the Space Weather Live account, and they were updating regularly what G number the conditions had reached over in Asia and Europe. They kept updating this regularly because on Sunday the conditions kept teetering between G1, G2, G3, G4, G3, G4, etc. So obviously things were very active. Number 3, Space Weather Watch is the best account to follow because they were giving us the play-by-play of what was happening around the world. They started retweeting photos, posting updates about what was happening in the skies, and then when nightfall came in the United States, they started retweeting photos from the East Coast. Once I started seeing photos coming in from Arkansas, Oklahoma, and then Arizona, I knew it was go time. Next up, location. So many people ask me, how did I know what location to pick? I looked at dozens of locations, but in the end, I absolutely just had to trust my gut. And here's the thing about technology. Several apps were telling me that in the mountains, there was gonna be almost 100% cloud coverage all night long, which really made things very complicated for me. Finally, I narrowed it down to 3 possible locations: Echo Lake, Lake Estes, Loveland Pass. I would have absolutely loved to shoot at other locations, but with the cloud coverage, it just felt too risky. So I looked at the 3 locations that I picked out. Echo Lake is beautiful, with the lake and Mount Evans in the distance. However, the problem is the location faces south, and from everything that I was reading, the Aurora Borealis would be facing north or northeast. Next up was Lake Estes, which you would have Rocky Mountain National Park in the background, but my gut said no. Which then left us with Loveland Pass, that I've shot there so many times. The reason why I love this location is because you get 360-degree views of the mountains. So no matter where they actually came from, I'd have mountains in the foreground. And before you click away, the most important topic of today's video, which is probably why you've held on so far, seeing them with the naked eye. Now, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Closer, closer. To the naked eye, they look like light pollution. So don't feel bad that you missed them. So many people feel horrible that they missed them because they've seen the pictures and they wanted to see the colors. But the truth is, it just looked like light pollution in the distance. It looked like a white haze. My husband and I couldn't really see colors. However, what my camera saw was completely different, and that is what made this expedition worth it. Now, I do have to say that right around 1:15, I did begin to see white light pillars coming in and out of the sky in the distance. That is about as much activity that I saw with my own naked eyes. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like and subscribe button, as I am planning to bring you a whole lot more photography content later this year. Follow me on Instagram, and most importantly, if for whatever reason you didn't like this video, instead of just hitting that thumbs down, drop me a comment below on how it could have been more helpful or what I could have included to help you out, and I'll try my best to answer your questions. I'll see you on the next one. Bye!